What if you had a roadmap to not just living longer, but living better after 70? What if there were, surprisingly simple signs that could tell you your own aging story? And, even better, what you could actually do to rewrite parts of it. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into an absolutely fascinating, really crucial topic: the scientific indicators that predict longevity and healthy aging after the age of 70. Now, this isn't about wild guesses or just, wishful thinking. It's based on decades of rigorous research, identifying 7 powerful, interconnected predictors. These offer remarkable insights into your own aging trajectory. We're moving beyond just the traditional markers like cholesterol to look at comprehensive indicators that tell a richer, more dynamic story of how well your entire body is aging.
Exactly. And our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to unpack these 7 evidence-based indicators. We'll delve into the robust science behind each one, really trying to understand why they are so predictive of both lifespan, how long you live, and health span, how well you live those years. And I think most importantly, we'll uncover practical, actionable steps you can take, maybe starting today, to optimize these indicators in your own life. So this deep dive is really for you, whether you're already over 70, maybe you're approaching that significant milestone, or perhaps you're simply intensely curious about the cutting-edge science of healthy aging. Our goal isn't just to throw information out there, it's to truly empower you, to increase your chances of living longer, healthier, and with greater independence well into your 80s, 90s, and maybe even beyond.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Many of these signs, these predictors, are not only easy enough to observe, but they are profoundly modifiable. This isn't necessarily about your genetics being your destiny. It's about giving you the tools, the knowledge to actively influence your aging journey. So let's jump right in and illuminate these pathways to a more vibrant later life. Okay, let's kick off with the first one. It might seem, incredibly simple on the surface, yet it's a truly profound indicator: your walking speed. You might be thinking, my walking speed? Seriously, how can that be so important compared to, say, my blood pressure or cholesterol? But the research here it's really compelling, isn't it?
It is. That's precisely the point, and it's what makes this first predictor so fascinating. What's really compelling here is that walking speed has been validated again and again in numerous large-scale, long-term studies. It stands out as one of the most accurate single predictors of remaining lifespan and future health in older adults. Faster walkers consistently live longer, they tend to enjoy better health, and crucially, maintain greater independence, often regardless of other existing health factors. Think about the landmark study that really brought this into focus. Researchers meticulously followed over 34,000 adults, all aged 65 and older, for nearly 2 decades. An amazing amount of data. And this extensive research found that those who could maintain a walk pace of about 2.25 miles per hour or faster, they had significantly longer life expectancy compared to their slower counterparts. And the impact isn't subtle. It's quite quantifiable. For every modest 0.1 meter per second increase in your usual walking speed, that's not a huge jump, there's an approximate 9 to 12% reduction in your all-cause mortality risk.
Oh, 9 to 12% for just a small speed increase.
Exactly. That's not a small correlation. It's a significant and consistent indicator seen across diverse populations and studies. It really points to a deep underlying connection between how you move and how long and how well you live.
That's a powerful claim. It's genuinely surprising given how much focus we usually put on internal markers, blood work, scans.
Yeah.
So what makes this outward, seemingly simple action such a profoundly accurate window into our entire system? Are you suggesting walking speed could actually be more profound than some of those traditional markers we track?
It's an excellent question, and it's where the science gets truly fascinating. Walking speed essentially serves as a phenomenal real-time assessment of multiple body systems working in harmony. Think of it like your body's physiological orchestra playing together. When you walk, it reflects the efficiency of your heart and lungs delivering oxygen to your muscles. That's your cardiovascular fitness right there.
Okay.
It demands the strength and power of your leg muscles and the stability of your core. It showcases the health and responsiveness of your nervous system, coordinating complex movement patterns, maintaining balance, and crucially, it even reflects cognitive function. Think about it. Walking, especially when you're navigating a crowded street or avoiding an obstacle or managing uneven ground, requires executive planning, focused attention, quick decision-making.
Right, you have to process a lot quickly.
Precisely. So it's a dynamic snapshot of your overall physiological resilience and the integrated health of your brain and body. This integrative power is why many geriatricians now actually refer to walking speed as the 6th vital sign.
The 6th vital sign, alongside pulse, Temperature.
Exactly. Alongside those traditional markers like pulse, temperature, blood pressure, respiration rate. And indeed, some aging researchers consider it a potentially more accurate predictor of future health outcomes than even cholesterol levels or maybe resting blood pressure readings, because it synthesizes so many critical aspects of bodily function into one observable, measurable action.
That's quite a statement. So are there specific speeds we should be aware of, like thresholds?
Yes, absolutely. When we dive into specific thresholds, the data becomes even more compelling. Studies consistently show that adults over 70 who can maintain walking speeds above, say, 1.2 meters per second, that's roughly 2.7 miles per hour, often have mortality rates similar to populations who are much younger.
Similar to younger people, just based on walking speed.
Yeah, it's quite striking. On the other hand, for those whose walking speed consistently drops below 0.8 meters per second or about 1.8 miles per hour, well, the data is pretty stark there. They face significantly increased risks of disability, hospitalization, and unfortunately death within just a few years. And it seems to be a dose-dependent relationship.
Meaning faster is generally better.
Generally, yes. Faster speeds are associated with progressively longer life, up to a certain point, a plateau where the benefits might level off. But it really underscores how profoundly this simple metric reflects your underlying health.
Okay, but the great news here, the really encouraging part, is this isn't just some grim prediction that leaves you feeling helpless, right? This is something you can absolutely work on. It's an area where conscious, consistent effort can genuinely make a tangible difference.
Absolutely. That's the key takeaway. The body is remarkably adaptable even later in life. Improvements in walking speed through consistent exercise and physical therapy have been clearly shown to significantly improve survival outcomes. And this holds true even in very elderly individuals, which is fantastic news. The key is targeted intervention. What does that look like? Well, it includes strength training to build leg muscle power. Think basic things like squats, lunges, calf raises, and also core stability exercises. Those are vital for a strong, steady gait.
Right. The core is central to movement.
Definitely. Then there's cardiovascular conditioning. Activities like brisk walking itself, cycling, swimming. They enhance endurance and the efficiency of your heart and lungs. And it's also incredibly important to address any underlying medical conditions that might be limiting your mobility or causing pain. Things like arthritis, maybe peripheral artery disease, or even uncorrected vision problems. These can directly and significantly impact your gait and overall speed.
So it's holistic. Address the foundations.
Exactly. Even small, consistent efforts can yield meaningful gains over time.
So how can you check your own walking speed at home? Is it complicated?
Not at all. It's surprisingly straightforward. Just find a clear, flat space, maybe indoors in a hallway or outdoors on a sidewalk, ideally about 20 feet long. Time yourself walking that 20 feet at your normal, comfortable pace. Don't rush, just your usual speed. Then simply divide 20 by the number of seconds it took. That gives you your speed in feet per second.
Okay, 20 divided by time in seconds.
Right. Or, if you prefer the metric system, time yourself walking 4 meters and divide by the time in seconds to get meters per second. The goal isn't, to become an Olympic speed walker overnight. It's more about establishing a baseline for yourself. And then, through regular exercise and mobility work, you can strive to maintain, or ideally, improve your speed over time. It's a simple test, but it offers powerful insights.
Okay, predictor number 2. Moving on, it's another one that might catch you off guard with its sheer predictive power. Your grip strength. When you think about it, it's not just about being able to open that stubborn pickle jar, although, let's be honest, that's certainly a perk. It's actually a truly fascinating, deep indicator of your foundational health.
That's absolutely right. Research consistently shows that grip strength is remarkably correlated with several key health markers. Things like overall muscle mass throughout the body, not just the hands, also bone density, your nutritional status, and just general physical vitality. This makes it an excellent proxy measure, a stand-in for biological aging, and quite directly for your remaining life expectancy. Multiple large-scale studies, we're talking hundreds of thousands of participants globally, have found that older adults with stronger grip strength live significantly longer, and they experience fewer health complications compared to those with weaker grips.
Longer life just from stronger grip.
Yes, and some research even highlights that grip strength can be a better predictor of cardiovascular death than traditional blood pressure measurements.
Better than blood pressure. Wow.
It's truly remarkable. Furthermore, the data suggests that each single kilogram decrease in grip strength corresponds to approximately a 16% increase in all-cause mortality risk.
16% per kilogram.
Yeah.
That adds up.
It really does.
Yeah.
So it's not just an isolated measure of your hands, it's a surprisingly robust indicator of your systemic health and resilience.
That's incredible. But how? How does the strength of your hand muscles tell us so much about your overall health? Feels like such a localized measurement, right?
Right.
You're saying it speaks volumes about the entire body. What's a biological pathway there?
That's the core question, isn't it? And the connection is primarily linked to its reflection of your body's overall muscle mass and strength. While it's a hand measurement, the strength you exert with your grip is intimately connected to the musculature throughout your entire body. Think about it. Maintaining robust muscle mass becomes increasingly critical for survival after age 70 because muscle tissue serves multiple vital functions that extend far beyond just enabling movement. Well, think of your muscles as your body's vital protein reservoir, crucial for metabolism, especially glucose metabolism. They support immune function. They play a key role in repair and recovery from illness or injury. And of course, muscle is absolutely fundamental for maintaining physical independence, just getting around, doing daily tasks. A major concern as we age is something called sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia. That's age-related muscle loss.
Exactly. It's the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. And this silent thief affects up to 50% of adults over 80. And it's directly associated with significantly increased risks of falls, fractures, disability, hospitalization, and tragically, premature death. So individuals who maintain higher muscle mass and strength, which is directly and reliably reflected in their grip strength, tend to have better metabolic health, stronger immune systems, greater functional independence, and ultimately longer lifespans.
So grip strength is like a canary in the coal mine for muscle health.
In a way, yes. And studies have shown it reflects even more. It reflects aspects of your cardiovascular fitness, the integrity of your nervous system function, even your nutritional status. Because maintaining muscle requires adequate protein intake, sufficient calories, proper hormone levels, and good circulation to deliver nutrients and remove waste efficiently. So yeah, it's a truly multifaceted biomarker packed into a simple squeeze.
Okay, so how is it measured? Are there thresholds here too, like with walking speed?
Yes, measuring grip strength is a standardized and reliable process. It's typically performed using a device called a hand dynamometer. Usually you're seated, elbow bent at 90 degrees, and you squeeze as hard as you can. Now, normal values naturally vary by age and gender, but research offers pretty clear thresholds regarding mortality risk. Studies have consistently found that men over 70 with a grip strength below about 27 kilograms and women with a grip strength below 16 kilograms, they face significantly increased mortality risks.
27 for men, 16 for women. Below that is a risk zone.
Right. Conversely, those who maintain grip strength above, say, 32 kilograms for men and 20 kilograms for women often have survival rates comparable to much younger adults. These are tangible numbers that offer a very clear insight into a person's biological age versus their chronological age, in a sense.
And again, the good news, this is another area where you can really take control, right? It's not a fixed fate. It's something that is highly responsive to intervention and conscious effort.
Precisely. That's the empowering part. Grip strength is remarkably modifiable, even in very elderly individuals. And improvements in grip strength are consistently associated with better functional outcomes and, yes, potentially an extended lifespan. So what are the interventions? Well, general resistance training is key for overall muscle mass. Using weights, resistance bands, doing exercises like bicep curls, rows, shoulder presses.
Building overall strength helps grip strength.
Absolutely. But for grip specifically, you can do focused hand and forearm exercises. Things like using those grip strengtheners you see, squeezing stress balls, or even just regularly performing wrist curls with light dumbbells. Engaging in functional activities that naturally strengthen the hands and forearms is also effective. Think about carrying groceries. Maybe make 2 trips instead of 1 heavy one, or use reusable bags with handles you have to grip firmly. Gardening, doing push-ups, even playing musical instruments like guitar.
Everyday activities count.
They do. And it's also critical, really critical, to reinforce the role of adequate protein intake. Older adults actually need more protein than younger adults to counter that age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia. Recommendations are generally around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily.
Higher than the standard RDA for younger adults.
Yes. Significantly higher. And that needs to be combined with resistance exercise at least twice per week to really stimulate muscle protein synthesis and prevent muscle loss. You don't necessarily need a gym membership for all of this. Even simple exercises like using a resistance band while watching TV or just consciously gripping things more firmly throughout your day can contribute meaningfully.
Okay, so to informally assess your own grip strength at home. Obviously, you can get it measured professionally if you have access to a dynamometer. But informally, you can just pay attention to your everyday functional strength, right? How easily can you open those stubborn jars? Can you confidently carry heavy grocery bags from the car? Maybe even think about the firmness of your handshake.
Exactly. Those are all good informal indicators.
The goal here, just like with walking speed, is to actively maintain or improve your strength through regular resistance exercise and proper protein-rich nutrition. Maybe struggling with that pickle jar is your body's subtle way of saying, hey, let's work on this.
Precisely. A little nudge from your body.
All right, our third predictor. This is one many of us might take for granted until it becomes unexpectedly challenging. It's your ability to rise from a chair without using your arms. It's a key part of what researchers call the chair stand test, and it's a surprisingly profound measure of your independence.
It really is. This seemingly simple assessment is, in fact, an incredibly powerful indicator. It tells us about lower body strength, balance, and overall functional independence. And it strongly correlates with survival outcomes in older adults precisely because it's such a comprehensive measure. Performing a chair stand quickly and efficiently requires multiple physiological systems to work in perfect concert. You need significant quadriceps strength, those big muscles in the front of your thighs. You need flexibility in your hips, adequate ankle mobility, strong core stability, and precise neuromuscular coordination to execute the movement smoothly without, lurching or losing balance.
A lot goes into just standing up.
A surprising amount. And large population studies have consistently found that older adults who can perform multiple chair stands quickly and without assistance from their arms have significantly longer life expectancy. Specifically, the ability to complete 5 chair stands in less than 12 seconds is associated with a substantially lower mortality risk over the following decade.
5 stands under 12 seconds. That's a key benchmark.
It's a commonly cited benchmark in the research, yes. It's truly a crucial snapshot of your functional capacity and physical resilience.
That's amazing. Why does this one specific movement tell us so much about our overall health and future independence? It seems like such a specific action, yet you're saying it's deeply predictive. What's the hidden message here?
Yeah, it really begs the question of how these simple movements can reveal so much, doesn't it? The chair stand test is particularly predictive because it directly reflects the strength and power of the leg muscles. And these muscles are absolutely essential for nearly every daily activity you perform. Think about it. Walking, climbing stairs, getting out of bed, maintaining balance to prevent falls, all rely heavily on these very muscle groups in your legs and hips.
Makes sense. Foundational movements.
Exactly. When weakness develops in these muscles, it's strongly associated with the onset of frailty, increased disability, and a significantly higher mortality risk in older adults. In fact, research has shown that the inability to rise from a chair without using arm support is often one of the earliest, most reliable indicators of functional decline. It can predict future disability, the potential need for nursing home placement, and even premature death more accurately than many traditional medical measures.
Wow, more accurate than some medical tests.
In some predictive models, yes. Physiologically, it demands significant strength from the quadriceps muscles, which, as we mentioned, are notoriously among the first to weaken with age, yet are critical for mobility. The task also requires adequate ankle flexibility, hip mobility, and that fine-tuned balance control. All of these tend to decline with aging and, frankly, sedentary lifestyles. Furthermore, its predictive power extends beyond just muscle strength. It subtly reflects overall health status, nutritional adequacy, cardiovascular fitness, and even cognitive function, because the complex coordination required for a smooth chair rise involves multiple brain regions and the efficient integrity of the nervous system controlling movement.
Okay, so are there specific time thresholds here too, like the under 12 seconds for 5 stands?
Yes. Besides that benchmark, other studies offer more detailed thresholds. For instance, some research found that adults over 70 who take longer than about 13.7 seconds to complete 5 chair stands have mortality rates nearly double those of people who can do it in less than 11.2 seconds.
Double the mortality risk for just a couple of seconds difference.
It highlights how sensitive this measure can be. And for individuals who cannot perform even a single chair stand without arm support, meaning they absolutely have to push off with their hands, they unfortunately face extremely high risks of disability and premature death within the following years. These are stark figures that truly underscore the importance of this seemingly simple functional test.
But again, the positive spin. This is definitely a skill you can improve, which is incredibly encouraging. It's not just a measure of where you are today, but a clear target for intervention and improvement.
Exactly. That's the crucial message. The good news is that chair rising ability can be significantly improved through specific exercises. We need to target leg strength, flexibility, and balance. Foundational movements include things like squats, even partial squats or sit-to-stands, lunges, step-ups onto a low stool or stair, and calf raises. But crucially, it also involves functional training that directly mimics the chair rising movement pattern itself.
Practicing the actual movement.
Yes. You might start by using minimal arm assistance, maybe just fingertips on the chair arms, and then progressively reducing your reliance on your hands over time. I remember working with a patient, let's call her Eleanor, who significantly improved her chair standability simply by consistently doing sit-to-stands from her kitchen chair during every commercial break while watching TV. Small, consistent efforts.
That's a great practical tip.
It is. And physical therapy research has robustly demonstrated that even very elderly individuals can dramatically improve their chair stand performance through consistent, targeted exercise programs. These improvements directly translate into better functional independence, a significantly reduced fall risk, and potentially an extended lifespan through those mechanisms of improved muscle strength, greater power, and enhanced overall physical function.
Okay, so how can you assess this at home safely?
It's pretty easy to do. Find a sturdy, standard height chair, definitely no rolling chairs, please, and place it against a wall for stability. Then, time yourself rising from the chair to a full standing position 5 times, as quickly as possible, but safely. Keep your arms crossed over your chest.
Arms crossed 5 times, standard chair against a wall. Got it.
Right. It's important to ensure safety, so maybe have someone nearby, especially the first time, or make sure you're in a clear, open space. For those who initially struggle to perform chair stands without using their arms, please don't be discouraged. You can start progressive training, use minimal arm assistance, like we said, and gradually reduce your reliance over time. Strengthening exercises like doing sit-to-stands from progressively higher surfaces first, making it easier, and then moving to lower surfaces can help build the necessary leg strength and confidence to eventually perform unassisted chair rises. Always ensure you are safe and have support nearby when practicing.
Okay, moving to predictor number 4. This one is absolutely crucial for maintaining independence and perhaps even more importantly, avoiding serious injury. We're talking about your balance ability. Think about standing on one leg. Now think about doing it with your eyes closed. It's a far more complex and revealing skill than many of us realize.
It absolutely is. Balance requires a marvelously complex integration of multiple systems working together seamlessly. You need clear visual input from your eyes. You need sophisticated inner ear vestibular function, that's your body's internal gyroscope. You need the strength and responsiveness of your muscles, especially in your core and legs. You need precise joint position sense, what we call proprioception, knowing where your limbs are without looking. And you need rapid cognitive processing to make constant, tiny adjustments.
Wow, it's a whole symphony of systems.
It really is. This makes balance an excellent, comprehensive indicator of overall neurological health, musculoskeletal integrity, and physical function. And crucially, it strongly predicts future disability and mortality risks in older adults. Study after study consistently shows that older adults who demonstrate better balance performance have significantly longer life expectancy. And perhaps less surprisingly, they have much lower rates of serious injuries from falls.
And falls are a huge issue for older adults, right?
Huge. The statistics are sobering. Falls are a leading cause of disability and death in people over 70. They account for over 800,000 hospitalizations and a staggering 27,000 deaths annually just in the United States among older adults. And consider this, a landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. They meticulously followed over 1,700 adults aged 51 to 75 for 7 years. They found something truly striking. Those who could not stand on one leg for just 10 seconds.
Just 10 seconds.
Yes, just 10 seconds. Had an 84% higher risk of death from any cause during the follow-up period, even after accounting for age, gender, BMI, and other health factors.
84% higher risk of death just from not being able to stand on one leg for 10 seconds. That's truly astonishing.
It is astonishing, and it underscores the profound link.
So here's where it gets really interesting again. Balance isn't just about your legs or your core strength, is it? It's truly a reflection of the integrity of your entire system working together.
Exactly. Maintaining equilibrium, staying upright against gravity, is one of the body's most intricate and vital tasks. It requires the healthy, integrated function of the central nervous system, particularly brain regions like the cerebellum and the brainstem. It requires adequate muscle strength, especially in the core, hips, and legs, to make those postural adjustments. It needs proper sensory input from your eyes telling you where you are relative to your surroundings, and from your inner ears, that vestibular system sensing head position and movement. And it needs effective cognitive processing speed and attention to react quickly to changes.
So many pieces have to work perfectly.
They do, and all of these factors tend to subtly decline with age, which is why balance itself is associated with increased mortality risk. Balance problems often develop gradually, sneak up on you. They can be among the first subtle signs of age-related changes in brain function, or peripheral nerve health, muscle strength, or those sensory systems. This makes balance testing a sensitive early indicator of functional decline. It can sometimes precede more obvious health problems by months or even years.
So it can be a warning sign.
It can be. And the connection between good balance and longevity is particularly strong because falls and fall-related injuries can initiate really a devastating cascade of health problems in older adults. Think about it. Fractures, often requiring surgery, leading to lengthy, debilitating rehabilitation. A significant reduction in activity levels follows, which leads to further deconditioning, more muscle loss. Then comes the development of a pervasive fear of falling, which severely limits independence and social engagement. All of this increases the risk of institutionalization and ultimately premature death.
It's a vicious cycle started by a fall.
Precisely. So good balance reflects not just your physical prowess, but the robust health of various critical systems. The brain regions involved in motor control, the integrity of your inner ear, the reliable function of those proprioceptive sensors in your muscles and joints providing feedback, and the strength and coordination of postural muscles throughout your entire body.
Okay, so what are the specific tests or thresholds we should know about for balance? That 10-second one-leg stand seems key.
Yes, the ability to stand on one leg for 10 seconds or longer with your eyes open is generally considered normal and healthy for adults over 70. However, the ability to maintain a single leg stance for any significant amount of time with your eyes closed, that becomes increasingly challenging with age. And it's a particularly strong predictor of both fall risk and, importantly, survival outcomes.
Eyes closed is the real challenge.
It is. It adds another layer of insight into your neurological and sensory health because it tests your body's ability to rely solely on proprioception and vestibular input without those visual cues.
But like the others, you absolutely can improve your balance, right? Even if you feel unsteady now. This is another highly modifiable area where consistent effort can lead to profound improvements and a greater sense of security.
You're entirely right. Balance training programs have been shown again and again to significantly improve stability and dramatically reduce fall risk, even in very elderly individuals.
Yeah.
What do these interventions look like? Well, practices like Tai Chi and yoga are excellent. They are fantastic for improving proprioception, flexibility, core strength, and controlled movement.
Tai Chi and yoga, good options.
Definitely. Simple standing exercises on unstable surfaces, maybe starting with a plush carpet, then a foam pad, or even a folded towel, can gradually challenge your stability in a safe way. Specific balance challenges that progressively increase in difficulty and complexity are also highly effective. Think about things like heel-to-toe walking, like walking on a tightrope, or walking backward, or standing tandem stance where one foot is directly in front of the other.
Things you can practice carefully.
Yes, carefully. And beyond direct exercise, further interventions can include ensuring you have optimal vision correction, get your eyes checked regularly. Also, a thorough review of your medications with your doctor or pharmacist is crucial to identify any drugs that might affect balance as a side effect. Treating underlying inner ear disorders, if present, strengthening the postural muscles that support your spine and core, and making simple environmental modifications at home to reduce tripping hazards, removing loose rugs, improving lighting, installing grab bars where needed.
Practical safety measures.
Exactly. The goal isn't necessarily to achieve perfect gymnast-level balance, which becomes increasingly difficult with advanced age. It's more about maintaining sufficient stability for safe mobility, greater confidence, and sustained independence while actively reducing your personal fall risk.
Okay, so how can you self-assess your balance safely at home?
You can try a few things, always prioritizing safety. Time how long you can stand on one leg with your eyes open. Then carefully try it with your eyes closed. Make sure you're near a sturdy counter, a wall, or have someone standing by for support.
Safety first, always.
Always. You can also try walking heel to toe in a straight line for, say, 10 steps. See if you can do it without stepping off the line. Another simple test is to stand with your feet touching side by side and then close your eyes. Have someone observe you for any significant swaying or if you need to take a step to maintain balance.
Okay. Simple checks, done safely. It reminds me of those classic martial arts movies where the master stands perfectly still on one leg for ages.
Ha, yes.
Turns out that's not just for show. It's a profound statement about their core health and control.
Exactly, a real-life indicator.
All right, predictor number 5 takes us inside your mind. We're talking about your cognitive function, specifically things like processing speed, working memory, and executive function. This is about brain health, which, as we're discovering throughout this conversation, seems deeply and intricately intertwined with your physical longevity and overall quality of life.
Indeed it is. Research reveals really strong, consistent associations between cognitive function and survival outcomes, and also your overall health trajectory in older adults, even after you account for other medical conditions and lifestyle factors. Your cognitive function essentially serves as a crucial window into your brain's health. It reflects the integrity of the neural networks that control not only thinking and memory, but also regulate vital body functions, coordinate movement, and maintain the complex physiological processes necessary for survival and sustained health.
So the brain is managing the whole operation.
In a very real sense, yes. Multiple large-scale longitudinal studies following people over many years have consistently found that older adults with better cognitive performance, particularly on tests of processing speed, how quickly you think, and executive function, your planning and problem-solving skills, they live significantly longer than those experiencing cognitive decline. Some research indicates that even a single-point decrease on standardized cognitive tests, like the MMSE or MoCA, can correspond to measurable increases in mortality risk over the following years.
Just 1-point decline can signal increased risk.
It can. It's a direct reflection of your brain's resilience and its capacity to manage the complex demands of aging.
So what exactly does a sharp mind or the speed of your thoughts have to do with living a longer life? It feels like we're connecting the dots between mental and physical health in a really profound, almost synergistic way here.
If it's an insightful observation, because the relationship is definitely multifaceted. It operates through several fascinating and interconnected mechanisms. Firstly, cognitive decline often reflects some kind of underlying brain pathology. This could be small vessel disease affecting blood flow, maybe early neurodegeneration, or chronic inflammation in the brain. And these same underlying issues can also quietly affect other organ systems throughout the body, thereby increasing overall mortality risk. So the brain health reflects systemic health.
Okay, so brain issues might signal wider problems.
Potentially. Secondly, and very practically, robust cognitive function is intimately tied to your ability to effectively manage your own health. Think about managing complex medication schedules, understanding and following medical advice, maintaining strong social relationships, which we'll get to, engaging in health-promoting behaviors like exercise and good diet, and skillfully navigating the increasingly complex healthcare system.
All require good cognition.
Absolutely. All of these are absolutely critical for maintaining health, well-being, and independence in later life. And they all rely on good cognitive function. Processing speed, how quickly you can complete cognitive tasks and respond to incoming information, seems particularly predictive. It likely reflects the efficiency of neural transmission and the integrity of white matter tracks in the brain, those critical information highways connecting different brain regions.
Faster connections, healthier brain.
Generally, that seems to be the case. An executive function encompassing abilities like planning, problem-solving, multitasking, inhibiting inappropriate responses is also strongly predictive. These higher-level skills are essential for managing the increasingly complex demands of aging, from handling finances to adapting to new health challenges or living situations. And the data backs this up. Research consistently shows that older adults who maintain better cognitive function also have lower rates of cardiovascular disease, fewer complications from diabetes, a reduced risk of falls and accidents, and fewer medication errors.
All things that impact longevity.
Exactly. All common health problems that can significantly contribute to increased mortality risk. This clearly demonstrates that brain health is not an isolated domain. It is intimately connected to overall physical health and ultimately to survival.
How is cognitive function typically assessed?
Well, the gold standard is formal neuropsychological testing, which is usually administered by trained professionals like neuropsychologists. It offers a very detailed profile of different cognitive abilities. But more commonly, in clinical practice, briefer screening tools are used. You might have heard of the Mini Mental State Examination, or MMSE, or perhaps the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, the MoCA.
Yes, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Doctors sometimes use them.
Right. They are quick, standardized tests that assess various cognitive domains like memory, attention, language, executive function. They help detect early signs of cognitive decline and can help predict future health outcomes. They are becoming increasingly important in comprehensive geriatric care to catch subtle changes early on.
Okay, but again, the empowering part. The incredible news here is that so much of your brain health is actually within your influence, isn't it? This isn't just about the genetic hand you're dealt. It's profoundly about the lifestyle choices you make every single day.
That's absolutely the crucial, empowering message we want to emphasize. Many critical aspects of brain health can be maintained or even improved through consistent, targeted lifestyle interventions. Regular physical exercise, for instance, is probably one of the most powerful brain boosters we know of. It increases blood flow to the brain, promotes the growth of new neural connections, neurogenesis, and enhances cognitive processing speed and efficiency.
Exercise is good for the brain, not just the body.
Fundamentally good for the brain. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities is also key. Whether it's reading challenging books, tackling puzzles like crosswords or Sudoku, learning a new language or a musical instrument, or simply participating in vigorous social engagement and debate these challenge and maintain your cognitive networks. Keep the brain active. Effective management of cardiovascular risk factors is also crucial for brain health. Controlling high blood pressure, managing diabetes effectively, keeping cholesterol levels in check, these are vital as these conditions can damage brain blood vessels and significantly impair cognitive function over time.
Heart health equals brain health.
Very much so. Sleep quality plays an absolutely critical role too. We often underestimate sleep. Adequate restorative sleep is necessary for clearing metabolic waste products from the brain, like amyloid plaques consolidating memories, and maintaining optimal cognitive performance during the day. Conversely, chronic sleep deprivation is strongly associated with accelerated cognitive decline and increased mortality risk.
So prioritize good sleep hygiene.
Definitely. Nutrition similarly impacts cognitive function and longevity. Diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like in fish, antioxidants found in fruits and vegetables, and other brain-healthy nutrients. Think of the Mediterranean diet, for example. These dietary patterns are consistently linked to better cognitive performance and longer life expectancy. On the flip side, excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, and diets high in processed foods, saturated fats, and sugar are clearly linked to cognitive decline and increased mortality risks.
Okay, diet matters significantly.
It does. And finally, maybe surprisingly for some, social engagement and meaningful relationships appear to be profoundly protective for the brain. Socially isolated older adults consistently show faster cognitive decline and higher mortality rates than those who maintain active social connections. We'll talk more about this next. The key insight, really, is that cognitive function both reflects and deeply influences overall health and survival. This makes it absolutely vital to prioritize brain health through comprehensive lifestyle choices that support both cognitive and physical well-being throughout the entire aging process.
Okay, let's move to that point directly. Our sixth predictor might be the one that surprises you the most in its sheer undeniable power: your social connections and your level of social engagement. It's not just about feeling good or having a nice time. The science is now telling us it's fundamentally about staying alive.
That's absolutely correct, and the evidence is overwhelming. Extensive, robust research unequivocally shows that the strength and quality of your social connections are as important for survival as many traditional medical risk factors. Things like smoking, obesity, even high blood pressure.
As important as smoking or obesity? That's staggering.
It is staggering. To put it starkly, socially isolated older adults, for example, face mortality risks comparable to those who smoke 15 cigarettes per day or those suffering from severe obesity.
Wow, 15 cigarettes a day equivalent.
Yep.
Just from being isolated.
Yeah. That statistic really underscores the biological necessity of connection. And think about the landmark Harvard study of adult development. It's been following participants for over 80 years now. It has consistently found that the quality and quantity of social relationships is one of the strongest predictors of health, happiness, and longevity throughout the entire lifespan. This becomes particularly critical after age 70, when social networks often naturally shrink due to factors like retirement, the unfortunate death of friends and family members, or increasing mobility limitations.
It gets harder to maintain connections sometimes.
It can, yes. And social isolation and loneliness are not niche problems. They are widespread. They affect an estimated 35% of adults aged 45 and older, and up to 43% of those over 60 in the U.S., with potentially even higher rates in certain vulnerable populations. And these conditions aren't just unpleasant feelings, they are directly associated with increased risks of serious health issues. Things like depression, anxiety, accelerated cognitive decline, cardiovascular disease, stroke, immune system dysfunction, and quite simply premature death.
Wow, to think that genuine human connection could have the kind of direct biological impact, that's truly astonishing. How do our friends, our family, our community literally add years to our life? What's the biological magic at play that links social bonds to fundamental physical longevity?
This is where the science of social connection gets truly profound, moving beyond just correlation. The physiological mechanisms by which our relationships influence longevity are quite intricate and increasingly understood. Firstly, there's the critical impact on stress hormone regulation. Chronic loneliness or perceived social isolation triggers a persistent elevation of stress hormones, particularly cortisol. And over time, high cortisol levels can cause widespread damage to our cardiovascular system, suppressing our immune response, accelerating neurodegeneration in the brain.
So loneliness causes chronic stress.
Essentially, yes, at a biological level. In stark contrast, strong, supportive social relationships act as a powerful buffer against stress. They help regulate our stress responses and promote more adaptive coping mechanisms when challenges arise. Secondly, social engagement profoundly influences our health behaviors. It's quite logical when you think about it. Socially connected individuals are significantly more likely to engage in regular physical exercise, maybe walking with a friend, maintain better nutrition, sharing meals, adhere to prescribed medical treatments, having someone remind you or check in. They're also more likely to avoid harmful behaviors like excessive alcohol or substance use, and crucially, seek timely medical care when needed, perhaps because a friend or family member notices something is wrong.
Social support encourages healthy habits.
Exactly. Isolated individuals, on the other hand, often neglect self-care activities and may delay seeking help until the problem is more severe. Thirdly, and this is really cutting edge, groundbreaking research has shown that social relationships actually affect gene expression related to inflammation and immune function.
Our genes.
Yes. Studies show lonely individuals exhibit increased expression of genes involved in inflammatory responses, pro-inflammatory genes, and they show decreased expression of genes involved in antiviral responses. This may help explain their higher rates of infections, slower wound healing, and increased susceptibility to a range of chronic inflammatory diseases.
That's mind-blowing. Loneliness changes how our genes work.
It appears to, yes. Fourthly, the cognitive benefits of social interaction also contribute directly to longevity, linking back to our previous point. Engaging with others provides vital mental stimulation, fosters emotional regulation, talking things through, and offers invaluable opportunities for continued learning and growth, all of which help maintain cognitive function and actively protect against dementia. And one more crucial point. The quality of relationships appears to be even more important than the quantity for longevity outcomes.
Quality over quantity.
Definitely. Having a few close, supportive, trusting relationships is far more beneficial than having many superficial social connections. Conversely, conflicted or consistently stressful relationships can actually be detrimental to health, increasing stress and inflammation. It underscores the importance of nurturing positive, supportive connections.
So this isn't just about wishing you had more friends. There are active, tangible steps you can take to foster and strengthen your social network and reap these profound biological benefits. It's something you can work on.
Absolutely. It's definitely an area for proactive effort. Social connection can be assessed, sometimes formally, through questionnaires that measure perceived social support, frequency of contact, participation in activities, feelings of loneliness. Healthcare providers are increasingly recognizing social isolation as a significant and addressable health risk factor, sometimes even screening for it. Interventions to improve social connections and reduce loneliness in older adults are varied. Things like actively participating in community organizations, joining religious congregations if that aligns with your values, or finding hobby groups that genuinely interest you, anything from a book club to a hiking group, a bridge club, whatever.
Finding your tribe.
Finding your tribe. Exactly. Volunteering for causes that you care deeply about is another incredibly powerful avenue. It provides both connection and purpose, which we'll get to next. Maintaining regular, meaningful contact with existing family and friends is vital. Make the effort with phone calls, video chats, emails, or ideally in-person visits. For some, adopting pets for companionship can be incredibly beneficial for reducing feelings of loneliness and providing routine. Pets are great companions. They can be. And for those with mobility challenges, utilizing technology to connect with others who share similar interests or experiences can effectively bridge geographical gaps. Online communities, forums, community-based programs like senior centers, adult day programs, intergenerational activities connect connecting older adults with younger people, and group exercise classes all provide structured opportunities for interaction. And there are newer interventions showing promise, too. Things like telephone friendship programs, online social networks designed specifically for older adults, community connector programs that actively link isolated individuals with local social resources.
Lots of options emerging.
Yes. For individuals who have experienced significant losses in their social network, which is common, building new relationships may require stepping outside comfort zones. It takes effort. But the research suggests that even modest, intentional increases in social connection can have meaningful and measurable impacts on health and longevity outcomes. The goal isn't necessarily to have a huge, sprawling social network, but rather to cultivate meaningful connections. Connections that provide emotional support, practical assistance when needed, opportunities for social engagement and mental stimulation, and that vital sense of belonging and purpose.
Okay, that leads us beautifully to our seventh and final predictor. And this one might be the most profound. It reaches into the very core of what it means to live well and authentically, your sense of purpose and meaning in life. This one feels like it really anchors the others, doesn't it?
It really does. Psychological research consistently and robustly associates a strong sense of purpose with longer life expectancy, better overall physical health, greater resilience to stress and adversity, and slower rates of age-related decline across multiple domains of functioning. It's quite remarkable. Studies have found that older adults who record a strong sense of purpose in life live, on average, 2 to 3 years longer than those who report low purpose.
2 to 3 years longer.
Yes. And that's even after meticulously controlling for a host of other factors like physical health status, existing diseases, social relationships, and socioeconomic status. This clearly suggests that psychological well-being and meaning-making are independent and powerful contributors to both longevity and healthy aging. They add something unique. What do we mean by purpose? Well, the concept, sometimes called eudaimonic well-being, involves having clear goals and a sense of direction that provides meaning to your daily activities. It's a sense that your life has been worthwhile and continues to have value, a feeling that you're engaged in activities and relationships that genuinely align with your personal values and contribute to something larger than just yourself.
Having a why.
Exactly, having a why. And longitudinal studies like the renowned Rush Memory and Aging Project in Chicago have followed thousands of older adults for decades. They consistently found that those who reported higher levels of purpose showed slower rates of cognitive decline over time, a reduced risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, better maintenance of physical function like walking speed and grip strength, and significantly lower mortality rates compared to those with lower purpose scores. The connections are deep and broad.
So how does having a reason to get out of bed, as people say, translate into a longer, healthier life biologically? It's truly amazing to think about the biological implications of something so inherently psychological and, well, existential.
It's an incredibly important question, and it really highlights the holistic, integrated nature of longevity. Mind and body are not separate. The biological mechanisms appear to involve, again, a more adaptive and resilient stress response system. Purposeful individuals consistently show healthier patterns of cortisol release throughout the day, lower morning spikes, faster recovery from stressors. They tend to have reduced markers of inflammation in their blood, better immune function, and more adaptive, effective responses to challenges and setbacks. These healthier physiological responses likely buffer against the wear and tear that chronic stress can exert, which could otherwise contribute to accelerated aging and the development of chronic diseases.
So purpose helps manage stress biologically.
It appears to. And beyond the direct biological effects, purpose in life also profoundly influences health behaviors and self-care, reinforcing what we discussed earlier. Individuals who possess strong reasons for living are inherently more likely to engage in regular exercise, maintain healthy diets, diligently adhere to medical treatments, actively avoid harmful behaviors like smoking or excessive drinking, and proactively seek medical care when needed. Why? Because they value their health as instrumental, as necessary for achieving their goals and fulfilling their purposes. Health enables purpose.
They have something to stay healthy for.
Precisely. The relationship between purpose and cognitive health also appears particularly strong. We saw that in the Rush study results. Purposeful older adults maintain better memory, processing speed, and executive function over time. This is likely because having goals and a sense of meaning provides intrinsic motivation for continued learning, mental stimulation, and sustained cognitive engagement activities that actively help to preserve brain function and protect against dementia. Purpose keeps the mind engaged. And purpose often intertwines with social connections, our previous point. While purpose can certainly stem from individual pursuits like creative expression, lifelong learning, personal hobbies, or a connection with nature, it often blossoms through relationships with family and friends, through meaningful contributions to their communities, through mentoring younger individuals, or perhaps through participating in religious or spiritual communities that provide frameworks for understanding life's meaning and purpose.
Purpose is often found in connection to others or something bigger.
Very often, yes. It can also be maintained through philosophical exploration that provides a sense of transcendence and meaning beyond immediate circumstances.
This might feel like a big abstract concept for people. How can purpose be assessed? And more importantly, can it be cultivated?
That's key. It's not just an abstract idea. Purpose in life can be evaluated using validated psychological scales. These typically ask questions about goal-directedness, having a sense of meaning, feeling life has been worthwhile, and being actively engaged in personally meaningful activities. Healthcare providers, particularly those in geriatric or palliative care, are increasingly recognizing the vital importance of addressing purpose and meaning as fundamental components of comprehensive care for older adults. It affects health outcomes. For individuals who have experienced significant losses, perhaps through retirement, the death of loved ones, or health problems that have disrupted previous sources of meaning, developing new purposes may feel challenging, but it is possible. It might involve exploring personal values, identifying activities or causes that genuinely feel meaningful now, setting achievable goals that provide direction and motivation, and finding new ways to contribute to others or society that align with current interests and abilities.
So it's about finding what matters now.
Exactly. Interventions to enhance purpose and meaning can include engaging in life review exercises, looking back to identify themes, values, and sources of pride from one's life experiences. Committing to volunteer work, as we mentioned, allows contribution to causes you care about. Participating in mentoring or teaching activities allows for the sharing of accumulated knowledge and experience with younger generations, which can be incredibly fulfilling. Pursuing creative outlets, painting, writing, music, gardening, offers avenues for self-expression and personal fulfillment. And for some, engaging in spiritual or philosophical exploration, perhaps through reading, discussion groups, or contemplative practices, can help address deeper questions of meaning and transcendence.
So there are concrete ways to nurture it.
Definitely. And the research is very encouraging here. It clearly shows that even small, intentional increases in a sense of purpose can have measurable and significant impacts on health and longevity outcomes. It powerfully suggests that it's truly never too late to cultivate meaning and purpose in life, even after significant losses or profound life transitions. The key insight here, tying it all together, is that longevity after 70 is not simply a matter of avoiding disease or maintaining physical function alone. It fundamentally involves the complex and beautiful interplay of physical, cognitive, social, and psychological factors. They all work together synergistically to support comprehensive health, profound resilience, and continued meaningful engagement with life.
Wow. We've taken quite a deep dive today into 7 incredibly powerful predictors of longevity after 70.
Yeah.
Your walking speed, your grip strength, your ability to rise from a chair, your balance, your cognitive function, your social connections, and that profound sense of purpose. It's a truly comprehensive and I think quite inspiring look at what it means to not just age, but to age vibrantly and well.
Absolutely. And what's truly remarkable and what we really hope you take away from our conversation today is this. While some factors like your genetics or maybe your past health history are largely beyond our control, an astonishing number of these predictive signs can be profoundly influenced. Influenced through targeted lifestyle choices, through active social engagement, and through the intentional cultivation of purposeful activities.
We have more agency than we might think.
A huge amount. And this isn't just about extending the number of years you live, tacking on time at the end. It's about elevating the quality of those years. It's about maintaining your independence, your vitality, your cognitive sharpness, and your deep, meaningful engagement with life as you age. It's really about ensuring that those extra years are rich, fulfilling, and full of vigor, not just existence.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? As you reflect on these insights, maybe consider this final thought. What small, intentional change will you make today? Perhaps starting with just a slightly brisker walk around the block, or making that phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or maybe dusting off an old hobby, rediscovering a forgotten passion. What step will you take to invest in your future self? To invest in the richness, the vitality, and the purpose of your life in your 80s, 90s, and hopefully beyond. The power to influence your aging trajectory is truly more in your hand than you might ever have thought.